Welcome guys, today we're going to be creating a quick card using a rainbow of colors. If this is something you're interested in, stick around. Welcome guys to my creative corner. This is Claudette, where I create projects using inks, stamps, papers, mixed media, and a whole lot of embellishments. So on today's projects, we're going to be creating a beautiful card using a multiple of colors, as well as we're going to be using a technique with the Stamparatus called Hinge stamping. So if this is your first time to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you could be notified when I upload my latest videos. And if you're returning, welcome back. So let's get into our project for today. So on today's project, we're going to be featuring this lovely rainbow glimmer paper. And this is new for us. So on this rainbow of colors, the colors that's within here, you can see the main colors that they use is Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss. This is the Bermuda Bay is a blue, type blue. The Blackberry Bliss is a dark purple. Granny Apple is a lighter green. Magenta Madness is a hot pink, and Mango Melody is like a orange yellow color. So now when you do that rainbow ombre effect, you have a array of different colors too as well. So it depends on how large you cut your paper and what kind of ombre effect you're gonna get, or if you want some particular colors. So I cut it down 6 by 6, and so they run vertical and it run horizontal. So you have to look at all that when you're designing your project too as well. So we're going to be creating a card, as I say, and we're going to be using the Hinge stamping technique with the Stamparatus. So let's go ahead and bring in our Stamparatus. Let me tell you a little bit about the Stamparatus. The Stamparatus is a positioning tool that helps you stamp perfect, crisp images every time. So you could easily align your stamp images, and you could include two-step stamping with this. So you could stamp multiples on the same projects without using several blocks. So with this, you get 2 plates, and they are on hinges. So you're going to get a foam piece. Whereas if you have your photo polymer stamps, you're going to need a cushion underneath, because the red rubber already comes with the cushion included with that. So we're going to be using red rubber stamps, so we don't need the cushion. You also get 2 strong magnets, and so you have a stationary grid paper that's included here. They also sell disposable grid paper if you're interested in that too as well. So if I didn't mention before, the glimmer paper comes 12 by 12, and you get 2 in a pack. So we have a white piece of cardstock measuring 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So this is called Hinge stamping. So you want roughly your stamps to fit. These should be a size fit right within these hinges here. So that's we're looking about an inch. I'm going to be using the stamp from the stamp set Celebrate Sunflowers, and that would be Let's Celebrate You stamp. And I am going to be using our in colors. My previous video was all about our in colors. If you want to go ahead and check that out, I'll list that link to the top above here in this video, so you could click on that for your next video to watch. But we're going to go ahead. We have 5 new in colors for 2020 to 2022. So we're going to be starting with the Cinnamon Cider. When you're inking up your images, you want to put something behind the plates to give it a little bit of support. And in this case, I'm using a case from the stamp set. So you're going to give that a nice good rub. And I'm just going to press it down again. So I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to use another color. And this is our chamois. So what we're going to do is just take this off the hinge, put it on, and then we're going to go down with our next color. And I'm just going to make sure that's clean. Good. Because I don't want to contaminate my next color. And I am going to be using Bumblebee, which is like a mustard color. And if you're concerned about messing up your colors, it's always nice to go from lighter to darker. And I am just gonna, well, let's see, still has some ink on that. And like I said, that's the beauty of it. If you miss a spot, you could go right back in and pick that up. And if it's not as dark as you would like it to be, then you re-ink and you stamp again. So next I'm going to come in with the hot pink, which is called Magenta Madness. You move your hinge down. And on the sides and in the corners are usually the hardest to get. So once you're working with it, it's good to just move your work out to the middle of the Stamparatus. Let me just do that one more time. Clean it once again. Then we're going to come in with our green, which is in, or it's called Just Jade. And that's a juicy one. I'm just going to have here on the edges, clean around those edges there. So this Simply Chamois is nice. You don't have any lint that comes. You could reuse it. I mean, it's going to be stained quite naturally, but you just wash it out and then you go to go. There's no chemicals or anything in there. And as you just wash it out with water. And then we'll come down. We have one more space. And then we're going to be using this blue, which is called Misty Moonlight. So again, these are all our in colors, Stampin' Up! In colors for 2020 to 2022. So they usually put in, like I said, colors. Every year they'll give you 5 new colors and take out 5 of the older colors. And the Stamparatus is nice. I mean, if you don't have any blocks or different size blocks, this is one thing you could get. And not, if you're not ready to invest in your blocks for stamping, you could just use this. This is just an awesome tool. If you guys are getting any creative value from this video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments down below. Also, I just wanted to show you guys one thing too that I should have mentioned. Once you're using your Stamparatus and you have your cardstock here down on your paper, or your cardstock down on your Stamparatus, you're going to center your, first off, you're going to center your stamp where you would like it to be. Then you're going to take the plate, close it over it, and pick it up. Then you could stamp. And so that's it on creating that. So now we're going to go ahead and put our card together. Now also on the Stamparatus, it has spots, 2 spots back here where you could store your magnets. And with these magnets, I keep mine separated because if they hit each other, then they have the tendency to break. So I keep my own separated. All right, so let's look at our rainbow glimmer paper. And once you cut it, you say, what color do I want to use? I am gearing towards the yellow and the reds and the pinks. All right, so on the white cardstock, I give you the wrong measurements earlier. It's 3.5 by 5.25. So that's 3.5 by 5.25. So now when you see that these here run vertical, depends on how you cut it, or horizontal, look at these two pieces. So you want to look at the design and how it's running and how your card is going to be. So for my base of a card, you have a multiple of colors to choose from. So I'm going to go with a purple, and that is in gorgeous grape. So I use cardstock measuring 11 by 8.5. I cut it down 5.5 to 4.25. Our glimmer paper is measuring 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So what we're going to go ahead and do is fold the base of our card in half. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take our rectangle stitch dies, and I'm going to cut out the middle of that glimmer paper. It is just too beautiful to cover it all up and be wasteful. So this is our stitch rectangle dies, and I'm going to get one that's a little bit smaller than the white cardstock. So I'm going to use that size, and I am going to cut that portion out of the glimmer paper, because once you cover this up, you're not going to see it. And I could use that on another project. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. So I went ahead and cut that out with our rectangle stitch dies. So we'll save this, and it's nice. See how you get those little stitch edges? So that could be used for the next time. I'm just gonna zoom in so you could see the edges there. So we're gonna go ahead and glue this down. So if you guys are interested in any of the supplies that I'm using here today, I'll be listing that down in the description down below. Then we're gonna add the white cardstock right on top. You know, before we add that, I want to add a little bit of ribbon. I'm just gonna bring in my silicone mat and add this here. And the silicone mat is nice because it protects your work area, and once glue gets on it, you could rub it right off. So I just want to add some ribbon here to that. I'm just going to trim the edges. I am going to add a glue dot to the back of that ribbon to just keep it from moving. And I'm using you take your pick tool. I also did a video on this. It has putty on one end. You have your piercing tool, and then you have a spatula here. And you have another piece that comes here. It has a stylus on it, a large part and a smaller part. You have your putty here to help you pick up smaller objects like your gems. So we're gonna go ahead now and glue this onto the base of our card. And like this glue rolls right up off of this silicone mat. If you guys are not familiar with silicone mat, that's a tool that you should have in your crafting supplies. So we're gonna go ahead and add some more glue here to the back of this cardstock. All right, there you have it. I was gonna put some gems on there, but I think I'm gonna leave it just plain like that. So I hope you guys would try the hinge stamping technique. Get out there and be creative, and I would see you on the next video.